Get away from her, you bitch!
What's up, space pirates? This is your Admiral, the chronically charismatic Dr. Disaster, and everybody here remembers how insufferable Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny was, right? You know, the movie where Indiana Jones was emasculated and forced to take a back seat to actress Phoebe Waller-Bridge, eventually getting knocked out by her with a single punch.
I need to do this.
Me too.
Yeah, that movie was ridiculous, and it did not land with audiences at all. It is estimated to have lost Disney over $100 million because Phoebe Waller-Bridge is a grating personality for a lot of people, and her character on the screen was hated, particularly with the average male moviegoer. And let's face it, that should be the target audience for an Indiana Jones film. We simply aren't interested in seeing someone like Phoebe Waller-Bridge as an action hero.
You're a woman!
So, with all of that in mind, it looks like it is time for Phoebe Waller-Bridge and her blend of condescending arrogance and overbearing feminist lecturing, which sucked out the soul of the latest Indiana Jones film. It is time for her to turn her ruinous skill set toward Tomb Raider, a franchise which features a beloved female character, but which has been loved by the male gaming audience for decades for very obvious reasons.
I love boobies!
There were rumblings a few months ago that the Amazon Prime show being helmed by Phoebe Waller-Bridge was being canceled because it had been in development for something like 6 years with nothing to show for it, and we celebrated this fact because Tomb Raider has suffered enough in recent years. The reimagined version of the character lacks the soul and charm of the original after she was commandeered by the feminist crowd in gaming. Well, on the one hand, I am annoyed as hell that it looks like they are plowing ahead with this show after all.
I am untethered and my rage knows no bounds!
On the other hand, when it comes out in the next few years, this show will give me plenty of material to make fun of, I'm sure. I like the idea of pointing and laughing at Amazon Prime after pumping out another ill-advised turd. After all, I am a schadenfreude enthusiast. Alright, me hearties, make sure that you hit the like button on this video, share it with your friends, subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. Also, I've started uploading some content onto Rumble, so make sure to follow me over there, and don't forget to follow me on X, where my handle is Dr. Disaster 1. But let's take a peek at this announcement that Tomb Raider is getting its live-action TV show after all. As I said a minute ago, earlier this year, we covered the news that it looked like this project was dead in the water. This old article here from popculture.com from a couple months ago laid out the news that Tomb Raider was apparently not going to happen, suggesting that the massive amount of money that they had already dumped into the project with nothing to show for it was being written off as a loss. They wrote in this article, according to Daily Mail, Waller-Bridge has long been working on the scripts and were deemed not ready to shoot. Sources claim the series is more or less dead, or at the very least, it won't be filming in early 2025, despite a Prime Video executive saying otherwise last year. It didn't help when Jennifer Salke, who had a hand in ordering the show and personally overseeing it, departed from her role as Amazon Studios head last week. Per a recent report from Puck. Still, my favorite sulky move was giving Phoebe Waller-Bridge, the breakout creator of Fleabag, a $20 million a year overall deal in 2019. Sure, the TV business is littered with failed overalls, but when Waller-Bridge generated nothing in 3 years, Sulky renewed the deal. Now, 3 years after that renewal, she still has nothing to show for it. Tomb Raider, which Waller-Bridge has been working on and which Sulky was personally overseeing after announcing a series pickup last May, has now gone through 2 writers' rooms and tens of millions of dollars in development costs. There's still no script. So yeah, it seemed like this thing was completely dead in the water and would just be another failed experiment. On the other hand, for a company the size of Amazon, losing tens of millions of dollars is practically just a rounding error for them. So, it isn't actually that surprising to see Amazon still pushing ahead with this project. This piece here from Variety talks about the details. It says, the Tomb Raider live-action series at Amazon Prime Video is getting ready to shoot. The series adaptation of the video game franchise is officially set to begin production on January 19th. In addition, Amazon MGM Studios has confirmed for the first time that Sophie Turner will star in the series as Lara Croft. The show was originally greenlit at Prime Video in May 2024, with Turner's involvement first reported in November of that year. And you know, I've heard a few people complain about this casting, but as far as Sophie Turner goes, I personally don't actually have a problem with her in the role. Granted, she isn't built like Angelina Jolie, who is absolutely perfect for the role, but I can move past that to a certain extent. Turner obviously has the acting chops, and she isn't butt ugly or anything like that. She doesn't look perfect for Lara Croft, but she's alright. I can live with it. For me, the problem isn't who is starring on screen though, it's who is creating the show. The article says next, as previously reported, Phoebe Waller-Bridge will serve as creator, writer, and executive producer on the series, but now Chad Hodge has boarded the show as executive producer and co-showrunner alongside Waller-Bridge. Jonathan Van Tulleken will serve as director and executive producer. And now, I looked up this Chad Hodge guy, and actually, he's exactly the sort of person that you would expect to be working with an obnoxious woke feminist like Phoebe Waller-Bridge. The dude wrote and produced the Netflix Christmas LGBT romantic comedy show Single All the Way. The director, though, seems like a competent enough guy, having worked on the show Shogun. Now, the show is being executive produced by Crystal Dynamics, the gaming studio that owns the rights to Tomb Raider. They, of course, have seemingly learned some important lessons lately with regards to what the fans of the franchise want to see from this IP. They were involved, Crystal Dynamics that is, were involved with the Perfect Dark reboot that was canceled lately. The character redesign for Joanna Dark went over about as well as a crap-flavored jelly bean, and the project ended up being canceled recently, which led to Crystal Dynamics laying off a chunk of their employees. Also, there was a high-profile tabletop game being designed using the Tomb Raider brand, which was woke as hell, featuring a manly-looking Lara Croft, and the makers of the game announced that in this game, Croft wouldn't actually be raiding any tombs, because doing so was actually evil colonialism or some such nonsense. Naturally, people thought this was stupid as hell, and that game was canceled. To top it off, the Tomb Raider Netflix cartoon was also shunned by a lot of people for poor writing and for making Lara look like a large-chinned man. So, with all of that in mind, there has been a lot of speculation that the reason the Tomb Raider video game that Crystal Dynamics has been working on has been taking so long to make is because they don't want to replicate the same failures of these canceled and laughed at woke projects. The rumor rumor is that they are doing everything in their power to remove all that stuff out of the project that they've been working on. So it is possible that Crystal Dynamics has learned their lesson and that they will rein in Phoebe Waller-Bridge and prevent her from making the show a lecturing and obnoxious feminist slog. I can see a world where a Tomb Raider show starring Sophie Turner wouldn't be the worst thing that ever happened. However, I highly doubt that Phoebe Waller-Bridge is capable of tempering her feminist snark, and I fully expect that the show will be awful, and I look forward to making fun of it. But I'm gonna leave it there. Drop your contempt for the likes of Phoebe Waller-Bridge and the woke version of Tomb Raider that we all know that she wants to make. Drop your contempt for that into the comment section below, and we will talk there. Thanks for watching, me hearties. If you haven't already, your Admiral is inviting you to subscribe to the channel and become a part of the crew. Life as a space pirate may not be glamorous, but there's always plenty of booty.